Well, hello and how are you? Hey, friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shen coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, today's Wednesday, April the 24th, 2024. God, happy birthday. Shout outs going out to my nephew or, well, brother, David Krudwig, and my kind of a niece, Marjorie Runnoe, and Bev Decker, the owner and operator of Helping Hands Thrift Store and Foster Care Closet. So here we go with birthday song for the three of you. Hey David. Hey Marjorie. Hey Bev. Hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Why, that's another year gone away. I hope you're enjoying your special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. Day today. It's your happy birthday day today. I said, hey Bev. Hey Marjorie. Hey David. Hey, I heard it's your birthday today. Wow, that's another trip around the sun that you made. I hope you're enjoying your special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. Day today. It's your happy birthday day today. Have a happy birthday, the three of you, and many, many more. All right. Alrighty then. Now we're gonna shout out to those Shin Show fans. That's right, folks that love, hate, and holler at, and just enjoy the Shin Show. All of those fans out there. We got uh, Savann Murphy Beason, Ashley Carter Adams, Lisa Foster, Rico Murphy, Lori Moore, a.k.a. Lori Taylor, a.k.a. Thumper, Rachel, a.k.a. Sweet Sunny Day Girl, and Jarvis Spoker, Patrick Gardner, and Kyle O'Neill. Wonder why we got Rachel. Back that one off, huh? Wake up. Backspace. Cut that. Paste that. Select all. Paste that. Go to sleep. There we go. Had to fix that there post. All right, there we go. Now then, it's time to jump on into the weather forecast for the St. Charles viewing area for the next 5 days. Today being Wednesday, the 24th, we had sunshine today. Lots of it. High temperatures 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Sun and clouds were mixed together. High temperatures of 69 degrees Fahrenheit with winds north to northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear to partly cloudy skies overnight with low temperatures of 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be out of the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tomorrow, Thursday, April the 25th, a mix of clouds and sunshine in the morning, followed by cloudy skies during the afternoon. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High temperatures of 67 degrees Fahrenheit with winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Very slight chance of rain, only 15%. Cloudy skies with periods of rain after midnight. Thunderstorms are possible. Low temperatures of 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Big time chance of rain, 80%. And Friday, April the 26th, showers and thunderstorms are for potential for severe thunderstorms. High temperatures around 74 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south to southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Chances of rain 90%. Thunderstorms likely, especially in the evening. Low temperatures of 64 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. 70% chance of that rain coming in, folks. Saturday, April the 27th, intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High temperatures around 80 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Only 23% chance of precipitation. Overcast skies overnight with low temperatures of 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be out of the south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then for Sunday, April of the 28th, mixed clouds and sunshine with scattered thunderstorms. Potential for severe thunderstorms. High temperatures of 78 degrees Fahrenheit with winds south at 15 to 25 miles per hour. 60% chance of rain, so we may get it. We're not sure, but probably. Low showers and thunderstorms likely overnight with low temperatures of 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be south to southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Yeah, well, high percentage of that thunderstorm, around 90%. 90, not 9, 90. And then for our fifth and final day of our 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area, showers in the morning and then cloudy in the afternoon. High temperatures of 74 degrees Fahrenheit with winds west to southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chances of rain 40%. Some clouds early will give way to generally clear conditions overnight. Low temperatures of 54 degrees Fahrenheit and winds west to northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that, my friends, is your 5-day forecast for the St. Charles viewing area. I'd like to point out that the thrift store, Helping Hands thrift store and foster care closet will not be open today. They will be available for drop-offs because they're doing a revamp of the store, and they're going to have both um, a lot of the products moved over into the diner, so that will not be open either. Um, Sorry for the inconvenience, but they're restocking the store, and they wanted to make sure everybody knew that they may or may not be there today. We got the song request going out for Lisa Foster today, and it's Put Your Hand in the Hand of a Man. Put your hands in the hands of a man who stilled the water. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a look at yourself, and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hand of the man from Galilee. Every time I look into the Holy Book, I want to tremble when I read about the part where a carpenter cleaned out the temple, for the buyers and the sellers were no different fellers than when I profess to be. Well, put your hands in the hands of the man who stilled the waters. And put your hands in the hands of the man who calmed the sea. Put your hands in the hands of the man who stilled the waters. Put your hands in the hands of the man who calmed the sea. That's right, folks. And I'm from them buyers and sellers, no different fellers than what I profess to be. And it causes me shame to know that I'm not the guy that I should be. So put your hands in the hands of the man who stilled the water. Put your hands in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a good look at yourself, brother, and you can look at others differently by putting your head in the hand of the man from Galilee. I said, I put your hands in the hand of the man who stirred the water. I put your hands in the hand of the man who calmed the sea. Take a good look at yourself, brothers and sisters, and you can look at others differently by putting your hand in the hands of the man who from Galilee. That's right. Mama taught me how to pray before I reached the age of 7. And she told me to relax and put my hands in the hands of the man who from Galilee. There you go. I had lived a little bit of it, but hey, just wanted to get it all in there. Hey, we got a friend out there, Kyle O'Neill, just popped in to. I've been doing well, I'll have to tell you. God bless you too. Thanks for popping in and checking out the show. Yeah, he's from Australia, don't you know? We got people from all over the world watching the show, folks. Just enjoying every minute we can get out of it. Well, that was a good song request there, Lisa. I appreciate you popping it up there. She gave me everything I needed today for it. Um, but the one thing I cannot do is karaoke style because I don't have a headset on, and that would give me too much feedback in the microphone. So we just do it a little bit different, don't you know? Alrighty, let's do another song. How about well, you know what? We're going to do a story for Lori, and it's going to be a long one, so we're going to go ahead and pull up story time with TV grandpa, that is. And we're going to be doing Bambi, and I got to find the one that's got it. I think this is the one. No, this ain't the one. Pull up a different one. Try this one. Yada yada dee da 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 dee dum dee da 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 dee da doo da da dee da doo da doo doo da dee da 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 dee da dee da dee ba ba bee ba ba boo da boo ba boo da ba da ba ba bee da ba ba da bee ba 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 da da ba da bee ba ba da ba da bee be da dee da 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 dee da dee da dee da. All right, here we go. Bambi story. A life in the woods. And the reason is because of Thumper. One day, a deer was born whose name was Bambi. His mother washed him all over with her tongue. Bambi, she said, my little Bambi. The young Bambi was curious about everything. He learned he was a deer, and so was his mother. Footprints in the trails that looked like the footprints of he and his mother made meant There must be other deer in the forest, too. Bambi's mother assured him they would meet those other deer. In the meantime, with all the bugs and the critters hopping about, the chirps and the honks and the earthly smells, there was much to explore. Sometimes on the trail, his mother would suddenly stop still, and she would raise her ears and listen from all directions. First, over here, then over there. Bambi would wait, and when she said, "It's all right, there is no danger, we can go," well, the two of them would start on the trail again. But he didn't know, he did not know why they had to do this. Well, one day, Bambi's mother took him to a meadow for the first time. He started to run out into the open clearing, but she jumped right in front of him, blocking him. "Stop," she said sternly. "Stay here. I must go first. Wait till I call for you. But if I start to run, you must turn around and run back into the woods very fast. Do not stop. Do you understand me?" And Bambi did not understand, but nodded anyway. Bambi's mother slowly stepped out into the open meadow. She sniffed all around. She looked this way and that way, alert and carefully. After a while, she said, "It's fine. Nothing to worry about, Bambi. Come on." And he bounded out to meet her. Now, never had Bambi felt the bright sun all over. In the woods, Bambi saw a stray sunbeam every now and then, but here he, the hot, bright sun warmed his everywhere. He felt marvelous, and he jumped high into the air. And each time he landed on grass that was much softer than the leaves and twigs from the forest. He leaped over and over again, tumbling on to the blanket of grass. Flowers dotting the meadow sa- saved in the wind and swayed in the wind and spread a fragrant perfume. But what was this tiny dancing thing in the air? "Look, mother," said Bambi, "the flower is flying." Bambi thought the flowers must have needed to dance so much that they broke right off of its stem to rise up and dance in the air. "That's not a flower, Bambi," said his mother. "It's a butterfly." Then thump, thump, thump on a rock. A young rabbit thumped his foot. "Hello there," uh, smiled Hare, raising. "Hello there," smiled Thumper, raising one ear tall. "And want to play?" said. "Sure," said Bambi. "Well, catch me." And Thumper hopped off the rock into the grass. Bambi was a bit faster at running and jumping, but Thumper was better at hiding, and so the two of them had a fun time. On top of the flowers, a tall, fluffy black and white tail was sliding over to the two of them. "Why don't you? Oh, why I didn't know that that why I would know that tail anywhere," said Thumper. "It's my friend Flower, and he's under the flowers." Stunk. Sure enough, a black and white head popped up. "Thumper," a Flower, he said. "This is my new friend Bambi." And Thumper soon the three of them were exploring the meadow together, sniffing its rich, deep smells, finding caterpillars and mice and vowels. After a while, Thumper and Flower had to go home. Bambi looked around. Mother, where are you? At the far side of the meadow, he saw her with another creature that looked like her. Well, Bambi came to meet Bambi, come and meet my sister, Ina, called Bambi's mother, and her two little ones. Well, Bambi hopped over to his mother's and sister, Irina. The two fawns, little feline and her brother, Gobo, were running in and out of their mother's legs. Feline gave a leap and landed right in front of Bambi, and then jumped back to Gobo. Bambi stepped up to her, and Feline hopped off to one side, and Gobo followed. Soon the three of them were chasing each other up and down the grass. Now, run off and play, all of you, said Bambi's mother. And every day after that, the three young deer played and chattered. They raced and chased, nibbling at strawberries and blueberries, and sometimes they just talked. Well, one day, Bambi said, do you know what danger means? Something very bad, whispered Gobo. But what is it? Said Bambi. I mean, exactly. I know what danger is, said Feline. It's what you run away from. None of them knew exactly, but of what matter was danger when the meadow and all its wonders beckoned them to explore. Well, Bambi's mother and Ema came up. Come on now, they said. It's time to go home. Far off, at the top of a hill, two large proud deer came into view with enormous heads of antlers. Turning to them, Feline said, who are they? Those are your fathers, said Ina. If you are smart and don't run into danger, said Bambi's mother to her son, someday you will grow up as big and handsome as your father, and you will have antlers too. Bambi's heart swelled with pride. As Bambi grew, he learned how to sniff the air, and he could tell if his friends Thumper was coming, or if a fox had just trotted by. He could tell if it would rain soon, and but no antlers appeared on top of his head. One afternoon came a raging storm. Lightning flashed and thunder crashed, and Bambi thought the end of the world must have come. But when they lay by his mother's side, he felt safe. Well, one day when Bambi wandered about in the woods, he came upon a sharp, unpleasant smell. Curious, he followed it. It led to a clearing where stood a strange creature. He had never seen such a creature, and it stood up on its rear legs, and its arms it held something long and black. Could it be a third leg? Well, the smell of the creature somehow filled him with terror. The creature raised its long black arm. In a flash, Bambi's mother rushed up to him. Turn around, Bambi. Run as fast as you can. Bambi's mother bounded in front of him over shrubs and bushes, and he kept pace behind her till they were back at the leafy home. Later, Bambi's mother said, "Did you see the huntsman?" Bambi said, "Yes, that's the one who brings the danger," she said. Both of them shuddered. Bambi was growing, and the first time he woke to find his mother gone from his side, he was scared. It was early morning and still dark. "Mother, mother," he called out, and a large shadow appeared, bigger than his mother's, standing before a pool of moonlight. A great old buck looked proud and stern. "Who are you calling for?" said the buck with a frown. "Can't you take care of yourself?" Bambi did not dare answer. He lowered his head in shame. "Listen to me," said the old buck. "Watch, smell, and find out for yourself. You will be fine on your own, and when you learn the ways of the world. And look, your antlers are starting to grow." Bambi brushed his head against a tree, and indeed it was so. The leaves fell, and Bambi grew taller. His antlers now rose above his ears. His mother started leaving him alone more and more, letting him meet other deer and creatures of the forest. Feline, Gobel, uh, Thumper, and Flower were still Bambi's best friends, but he also found other creatures fascinating to watch and sometimes fun to play with. One wet winter day, the terrible smell of huntsmen swept across the forest. The scent was so strong that there had to be many huntsmen in a group. Most animals fled out of danger, but some were not so lucky. With the hunters' loud noises and great power, many animals were killed, and one of them was Bambi's mother. After that terrible day, Bambi felt lost. He wondered about how could this awful thing have happened, and suddenly the great old buck stepped out in front of him. "Go to sleep. Were you out in the meadow when it happened?" the old buck said. "Yes," said Bambi. "And you're not calling, and you were not calling for your mother now?" said the buck. Suddenly, Bambi felt full of courage. "I can take care of myself," he said, looking up, and the great old buck smiled. "Listen to me," he said. "Smell, watch, learn to live, and be careful. You will be fine on your own, and when you learn the ways of the world, now, for, for farewell." And he vanished into the deep forest. Winter came. Strong and bitter cold winds swept through the woods. Deep snow covered the forest floors, and there was little food to eat. Bambi felt hungry and cold. Nearly all the bark on the trees had been peeled away by hungry deer. Still, the cold was wind blistered on day after day. Gobo had always been smaller than Bambi and Feline. He shivered all the time. He could hardly stand up anymore. One day, a flock of crows flew over, yelling loudly, "Call, call, call!" The geese also screamed in the sky, "Quack, quack, quack!" They warned of the huntsman coming again. Thumper hopped up and down in alarm. "We're surrounded. They are everywhere." And a single boom crashed like thunder, and one goose fell from the sky. All the animals ran like mad, even the tiny titmouse. Another shot crashed like thunder, and a fox fell down on the forest floor. Bang, bang! And Thumper called out to Bambi, "We have to get out of here." Bambi and Thumper started to bound away. But was that Gobo laying in the snow? "Gobo," said Bambi, "where is your mother and feline? Uh, feline. "I fell down," said Gobo. "I'm too weak. You go on, Bambi." Another young deer bound by. "Bambi, run. Don't just stand there if you can run." And he took off like the wind. As Bambi ran along, he called behind him, "I will come back for you, Gobo." Bambi ran, ran, and soon the sound that boomed as loud as thunder grew more and more distant. When Bambi returned to where Gobo had been, was no trace of him, not even his tracks, just big tracks. Feline and her mother were prancing around the spot. And what had become of him? Would Ina? Wailed Ina. But they all knew. They could smell it. A huntsman had come and had taken Gobo away. Weeks passed, and at last of sprigs of fresh grass popped up through the snow. Then more and more tufts of grass. What was left of the snow melted away. On Bambi's head, he could feel the weight of his fast growing antlers. As the trees and bushes turned green and the weather warmed, all the animals started to act oddly. Birds flittered about two by two. Creatures large and small were found in pairs. His friend Flower spent all his time with a girl skunk and hardly noticed Bambi. Even his friend Thumper seemed in a daze, staring at a girl rabbit and forever thumping his foot. "What's happening to my friends?" said Bambi. There was a rustling in the leaves behind him, and there stood Feline. But she was grown up now, and he was just as he was. Each of them was thinking, "How different you look now." They gazed at each other. "It has been a long time since we saw each other," said Feline. "Yes, I know," said Bambi. And they talked of old times. "Do you remember playing tag on the meadow?" said one. "And do you remember all the berries on the bushes that we ate?" said the other. And the two of them seemed to understand each other perfectly. A fat deer came up to them, sniffing the air. "Sister, don't you know me?" Feline and Bambi turned in amazement. "Gobo!" They rushed up to him in joy. "You were not dead," said Bambi. "Where have you been?" said Feline. Gobo told his story. "It was with a huntsman, and I have seen a lot more than the rest of you all together." Dogs had found him where he had laid in the snow, and they barked, and the huntsman came and carried Gobo to the place where he lived. "It was as warm as summer inside," said Gobo. "Rain may pour outside, but not inside where Huntsman lived. It is always dry and warm, and there was always something to eat: turnips, hay, potatoes, carrots. Mmm." "And weren't you even afraid, though?" said Feline. "No, the huntsman wouldn't hurt me. If he loves you, or if you serve him, he's good to you," said Gobbo. "And they all loved me. The children petted me. The and the great old bucks strode out from the bushes." "What kind of band is that you have on your neck?" "It's a halter I wear," said Gobbo. "It's a great honor to wear the huntsman's halter." "Be silent," said the great old buck. "You poor thing." He turned and was gone. One day, when Gobbo and Bambi were together, they smelled the scent of a huntsman. "He must be. We must hide at once," said Bambi. "No need for that," said Gobbo. "The huntsmen know me." And then, all at once, a sharp bang, and Gobbo fell down. The huntsman never came after Gobbo, and when the scent of the huntsman went away, Bambi pulled his friend to a leafy place where he could rest and be out of danger. Bambi knew what weeds his mother used to place over a wound to heal it faster, and as he brought the weeds to Gobbo, he wondered, "Why must this always happen to us?" Bambi thought of the great old buck who had said, "Find out for yourself." Find out what? Feline and Ina brought Gobbo food and visited him with for hours, and Bambi often came by, too, until Gobbo was healed. The wounds from the great old buck still ran in the words from the great old buck still rang through his head. Learn to live and be careful. Bambi was starting to understand. Seasons came and went. Bambi grew taller still. His antlers were nearly full grown now, and one day Bambi caught a new warning smell in the air. It was a hot, smoky smell. A flock of crows rushed overhead. "Call, call," loudly. It was a fire. At once the animals were running as fast as they could. It was easy to run away from fire. It seemed to rush in from different directions, and after hours went by of flames and smoke, the fire started to wind down. At last, the smell of fire was fading too. The great old buck stepped in from front of Bambi. His head was gray now, but he still bore his antlers with pride. "Come with me," he said in a serious way. "I want to show you something before I go." He led Bambi through the woods to a burned out village. Mixed along with the smell of fire was the same awful smell of huntsmen that had sent terror to their hearts again and again. "Do not be afraid," said the old buck. Closer and closer they went to the village. "Look, Bambi," he said. There in front of them were dozens of huts. Each was burned, some almost to the ground, others burned mostly on the roof. The village was empty. "You see, Bambi," said the old buck, "the houses of the huntsmen get burned by fire just like the places where we are, and we stay in the woods. The huntsman isn't above us. We are just the same. Do you understand me, Bambi? Fire burns the woods where we live, and it burns the villages of huntsmen too," said Bambi. "We are not so different from them. We both live under the same great powers in this world," said the great old buck. Yes, said Bambi. Now I can go, said the great old buck. Don't follow me. My time is up. Goodbye, my son. I love you so. And now Bambi had become a full buck himself. His antlers spiked and gleamed in the sun. Sometimes he would visit the corners of the woods where he had spent his childhood. Some of the trails were still there. Once in a while, wandering there, he saw Gobo and his sister Feline. When he saw Feline, his heart beat faster, and he wanted to rush to her. He gazed after her, and finally she was gone. And then he heard the call of two little fawns. Mother, mother, they called. Can't you stay by yourselves? Said Bambi. The little brother and sister were too much in awe of the great buck to answer. Bambi thought, this little fellow reminds me of the dear face I used to see when I looked in the water years ago. Perhaps I'll meet him again. Well, the little girl is so sweet too. Feline looked like that once. Listen to me, said Bambi to the two fawns. You must watch and listen. Find out for yourselves. You will be fine and on your own when you learn the ways of the world. Bambi realized that he had learned of these truths himself, the world's dangers and kindness, and his role he would play. He knew that he would see those two young fawns again. The end. There you go, Lori. That one was for you. Alrighty then. Hey, let's jump on into the daily bread portion of the program. Daily bread portion of the program is going to be brought to you today by United. The daily bread portion of the program is going to be brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2024. The Bible with Briscoe 2024 is a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within the year. Today's reading in the Bible with Briscoe 2024 will be 2 Samuel 19 through 20 and Luke 18 1 through 23. So don't forget to tune in to the Bible with Briscoe 2024 for your daily reading of the Bible. United Diversity in Christ is today's devotion in the daily bread portion of the program. And the scriptures will be 1 Chronicles 12 through 14, and 21 through 27. First Corinthians 12 through 14. United and diversity in the body. Just as a body, though one has many parts, but all is its many parts from one body. So it is with Christ. For we are all baptized by one Spirit, as and so as from one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free. And we are all given one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many parts. 1 Corinthians 12:21 through 27. Now the eye cannot say to the hand, I do not need you. And the hand cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And the parts we think are less honorable we treat with special honor, and the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty. Why, while pros, pro, all our presentable parts need no special treatment, but God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lack it, and so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. And if one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now, you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. And there you have it. That was First Chronicles 12 through 14, and 21 through 7. United diversity in Christ. That there was the daily bread portion of the program, brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2024, a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Hey, we got a second watcher tuned in. Howdy, howdy. Glad to see you. You tuned right in at the end of the show, but you can watch it the whole thing. You'll catch up. All right, we only had one song out there for today, but we've got one more for you coming up right now. So if you will, indulge with me, please. Well, goodbye, my friends. It's a time to go. I say goodbye, my friends. It's a time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So, goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This has been Shen, a.k.a. saying hello and how are you? Thanks for tuning in to the Shen Show. And as always, God loves you. And so do I. So come back and see us again tomorrow because, well, God willing, we'll be here. And we hope that you are too. Bye bye. Sorry you tuned in so late. But, we'll check you tomorrow. God bless you. Come back and see me. Bye bye.